So why do I fight? I fight because it's something that I choose to do. I love fighting. Fighting's better than anything else. I'd rather not flip burgers. I'd rather just knock people out.
Say about the boxing of Kevin Holland, kind of lunged in, but a nice elbow there as they come to close.
I got different vibes, nigga. With my hand up, you know it's 5 fingers. Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas.
Kevin, the Trailblazer Holland, was somebody who everybody thought had unlimited potential. He could have been taken to the top, but something didn't quite click.
Here for the final time tonight is Bruce Buffer.
49-45, 49-46, and
It's rough, it's rough right now with moms. It's like we do it, but things are getting tougher. Contracts are getting harder to come across, and the pay, it's like negotiation skills. Me and her discussed it. It might be time to call in somebody who knows a little bit more of what they're doing, but I mean, will they care the way mama cares? Will they put forth the effort that mama puts forth? We don't know. And honestly, quite frankly, we keep getting the job done, so we might not try.
Kevin, the Trailblazer Holland, entered the MMA scene like no other. A showman, a risk taker, and an undeniable talent. Born and raised in Riverside, California, Holland was never the kid who'd shy away from a fight. In fact, he thrived in them. He burst onto the amateur circuit with raw, untamed energy, a fighter who didn't just fight to win. He fought to entertain the fans. From regional shows to the big leagues, Holland's rise was fast, and at times it was reckless. But that's what made him stand out, wins or losses. He didn't care about playing it safe, only about making an impact. All his fights were blockbusters. Whether he lost, as I mentioned before, or whether he came in and got a knockout, you had to tune in, you had to watch it, you never knew what was going to happen. He had an entertaining style that not many other fighters had at that time. And over time, fans were taking notice. And so was the UFC. In 2018, the call finally came. The UFC, the biggest stage, was ready for Kevin Holland. But was Kevin ready for the UFC? The hype, the excitement was real. But sometimes, hype and excitement can be the heaviest weight to carry.
Who were some of the other fighters that you were most impressed with tonight on the big stage?
Holland. So I don't know, for those of you that don't know the story, he was on the Contender Series. And he was a talented guy and he won his fight, but he wouldn't shut up. The entire fight he was talking to me. The whole fight. Now, any of you that have been to Las Vegas and have been to the Contender Series, it's straight killers, okay? Everybody comes into that building and the fights, I could do that every Tuesday for the rest of my life. It's incredible, I love it. This guy comes in and is talking shit the entire fight. So I said, I'm not signing this guy. I don't want him, I'm not interested in him. So, Thiago Santos' fight falls out. Right? And I said, let's call some contender guys in that we liked. They all turned down the fight. I said, call Big Mouth. I want to see if Big Mouth takes this fight. He took the fight, came in and fought the fight, still talking shit, okay? In there with Thiago Santos, this beast, ranked number 13 in the world, and took this fight on 2 weeks' notice and is still talking and saying, talking so much his mouthpiece fell out twice. But wow, he looked good. Wow, he looked good. And tonight, all the celebrities that were there loved Holland. That's all they wanted to talk about. After the fight, they're talking to me about him. Back in my room, they're talking to me about him. They loved him. So much respect to Holland. He was very impressive tonight. Took that fight on 2 weeks against an absolute savage and fought a great fight. He gassed out in the third, but he took this thing on 2 weeks' notice. So, yeah, I take it back, and we will give him the proper time to train, get ready for a fight, and we'll give him another fight.
Kevin Holland began his UFC journey in the year of 2018 with a loss against Thiago Santos, which he took on 2 weeks' notice and looked impressive. Not long after that, on November 24th, he got a rear naked choke win against John Phillips. Next to that, he got a decision split win against Gerald Meerschaert, then another win against Alessio De Chirico. In October the 18th of 2019, he got a submission loss against Brendan Allen. And then in 2020, Kevin Holland reached his peak. 5 wins in a single calendar year, an accomplishment so rare that it had only been done a handful of times in UFC history. From wild knockouts to unexpected upsets, Holland didn't just beat opponents, he embarrassed them. And he did it with swagger that made him impossible to ignore. Then with arguably his biggest challenge yet against Jacare Souza, he got a win that made the impossible look easy. A knockout from his back against the veteran, Jacare Souza. It wasn't just a win, it was a moment that told everybody, look, Kevin Holland was here, and he was for real. And while the fans loved his personality, his opponents were taking notes. Holland's casual, laid-back style, it had a price that people were starting to catch on to. When Holland faced Derek Brunson in 2021, things changed. Brunson exploited the one big gap in Holland's game, his grappling. Holland went from flashy to clearly frustrated, spending most of the time on his back, unable to escape Derek Brunson's relentless wrestling. The interesting thing was that Holland's attitude, the same attitude that made him a fan favourite, started to backfire. It was clear he hadn't put in the hours to keep his wrestling on par with his striking. And then only 2 weeks after that, Holland fought Marvin Vettori on short notice, another wrestler who had controlled Holland for 5 rounds in that fight. And it left fans wondering, was Holland's attitude covering up for his lack of focus? Was he dedicated to this game and improving? Fans were torn. They loved the showmanship, but they also wanted to see him reach his potential, to see where he can go. For some, it was like watching a star hold himself back. And was that exactly what was happening?
Why are you not focused on the belt? Like, why is that something that doesn't...
Why are you guys so focused on the fucking belt all the time? Like,
Well, I
excuse my language, but why are you so focused on the belt? I just told you I'm not worried about the belt, then you go back and repeat, ask me about the belt. Like, I'm not worried about the belt. Why are you so worried about the belt? You don't even fight for a living. Why are you so worried about the belt?
Well, I'm not worried. I don't fight.
I'm not worried about it either. Why are you so worried about it?
That's why I'm asking. Well,
I'm not worried about it.
You say
That's the ultimate answer you need. I'm not worried about it. Why are you so worried about it?
Well, I don't know. I'm asking you because you say you want the big paydays, and usually that comes with pay-per-view points and whatnot. So you would assume that the big...
Maybe I'm already getting pay-per-view points.
Hey, maybe.
You don't know, right?
Sure.
True.
Not wanting the belt. Not caring for the belt. Might seem like a simple issue, not wanting to taste that gold, not wanting to reach the top of the sport. For some, the money's all they want. It's all they need. But this came at a concerning point where Kevin Holland said this a few fights earlier.
Out of retirement because at the end of the day, I'm going to be the champ. Mark my fucking words. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the champ. I popped some shrooms about a couple weeks ago and I had these visions, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I'm going to be champ. My first time popping shrooms and they said, you see the future. I seen the future. I'm going to be the fucking champ.
With the shift in attitude, it made a lot of fans ask a lot of questions. For Holland, the Octagon wasn't just a battleground, but a stage to be entertaining. You know, he jokes, he talks, he taunts. Sometimes to the point where it feels like he's just there to entertain. And while some fans love that, it does raise some issues. Does he really care about winning? I feel like that's a question on a lot of fans' minds, and on my mind as a big Kevin Holland fan myself. You know, it's an attitude that splits the crowd. On one hand, you've got fans who love the raw personality, love a flashy fight. On the other, there's fans who want to see him push himself, want to see him win, want to see him do well. To put everything he has into every fight and not just seemingly give up. Is he there to just look good and survive, or is he in there to win and rise up those rankings? They see the potential he has, but it feels like he's holding himself back. Too laid back to fully commit to winning fights or getting himself to the title shot. And the sad truth of it is that I feel like frustrates so many people is that he's a gifted athlete. he has the skill, the strength, and the natural ability that you just can't teach. But against serious contenders, his casual approach has come back to haunt him. This is a game where inches matter, and when you don't have that drive that I don't know if Kevin Holland has, can you really reach that next level? And the issue isn't that the fans dislike Kevin Holland. I believe it's because they do like him. They want to root for him. They want to see him do well, and it's frustrating as a fan of him because, you know, he's not lacking talent. He has it in spades, but fans feel like they're only seeing glimpses of it. They want the best version of Kevin Holland, the one they know that could shake up the division if he just focused.
You start thinking about it like that, you're like, holy moly. And now you feel it in your hips for real, huh, instead of your back.
When we look at Kevin Holland's career and his last few performances, we see that he's had a tough run. Roman Dolidze, rib injury, October the 5th, 2024. Michael Oleksiejczuk win, June the 1st, 2024. Then 2 back-to-back losses against Michael Venom Page, which was an absolute schooling, at March the 9th. And then in 2023, a decision loss against Jack Della Maddalena. In his last 4 fights, he's 1-3. It's clear that he stands at the crossroads. A raw talent that is undeniable and a charisma that is off the charts. But the question remains, can he transform his potential into reality, or has he wasted his potential? Fans know that he can shine. We've seen glimpses of his greatness, his striking ability, his wild jiu-jitsu, but when it comes facing the elite of the elite in the division, there's a pattern that keeps occurring. In his own words, Holland has said that he wants to aim high, he wants to aim for the belt. But has recent performances changed that? Has there been a shift in the mindset knowing that he can't get there? And even more so, is he even willing to put in the work that would allow him to get to that point? At 31 years old, Holland still has time to make a serious run in the division. He's had opportunities at rankings at welterweight and middleweight, and although he's been ranked before in both, it seems whenever he has that next big challenge, that he always seems to fail. And after a bad rib injury, it'll be interesting to see how he comes back in his next fight. Will Kevin Holland show up eager to win? Or will the laid-back fighter that is there to survive and entertain come back? For people who wish to see him thrive, the hope remains. Ultimately though, it's up to Kevin Holland. Does he want to rise up the ranks? Will his mind shift change again? Or is he happy just fighting how he's fighting, staying in the UFC, having entertaining fights? The question remains, is Kevin Holland wasted potential, or could that change in the near future? Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. Comment down below if you do believe Kevin Holland is wasted potential, that his time is up, that he's already stuck in this mindset and there's no way of him climbing up the rankings, getting to a belt, or if you have some hope that he's going to get there. Let me know in the comments, and as always guys, have a good one.